Authenticity is something that we look to achieve. I mean, it definitely stems from Saul's background, perhaps as a documentary maker, and the way he prefers to shoot and the team around him. We needed somewhere that was going to serve the book and the story.
One! Which will be explosion one. One!
And also made sense. I mean, it's an expensive film to make. You know, there is these big action set pieces.
Call out two.
Quite large scale within it.
I then called out three.
Belgium was actually a very convenient place. We had a lot of French crew as well. It's very easy for the Brits to get to. We chose to go for a full location shoot rather than go onto stages and build full sets. It does put strain on a production, but then I think, you know, we had a very exacting crew.
We did insist that we went to France to shoot the town and find a French town, and we've just found this extraordinary French town just over the border from Belgium.
We are in Marville. What's amazing about this town is that it was a very substantial town in the 17th and 18th century, and it's just gone downhill. So most of the plazas in towns of this size have shops and banks and stuff like that, and this place was pretty intact.
When we first walked into it, it felt like a film set. What you'll see in the final film has got very limited CGI in it, so pretty much everything there is what actually exists, or some of our modification from Michael Carlin's team.
It's a kind of crumbling, beautiful, atmospheric, almost Western town. You know, there's one road in and one road out with an enormous church in the middle, and I think that gave us so much more scope. We could take up the whole town. So Michael Carlin, the production designer, was able to change quite a few things in the town, but the basic structure was there.
We needed to create our own shops and our own Hotel de Ville that we can see here, and the wells and the fountains and things.
Background action! And action!
And we were able to shoot 360 in this place, rather than you get sometimes in period films, you don't have enough money, you can only film that corner. With this one, we could use our resources properly and see the whole place at all times. And that makes a massive difference.
We ended up leaving quite a lot of the work that we did in Marville is still there now. So they wanted to keep some of the murals. They've actually chosen themselves not to put back some of the lampposts that were in the main town square and to keep it as it was. So it's nice to think that we've had a kind of positive impact on the environment.
We've got a crane here which is going to release, 1,000 leaflets across the whole scene. And then everybody, I think, needs to be in that moment. We have to make sure that everybody has got enough things to be doing, is in the action beyond the specific actions for the whole of that period. Because the way that the camera's going to move is going to be two cameras, but the main camera is going to be following action that will have other people inevitably featured or in the background at any given moment.
The obvious way to shoot this film would have been to build a house, which was probably about a month of shooting time in the end, and then you've got absolute control over sound and dressing and lighting conditions. But we wanted to have the actors feeling like they were living in a house. We wanted to feel the claustrophobia and the imposing nature of the building.
It's always difficult, I think, when you go into a house for 3 weeks. You can go a bit kind of stir crazy. The dynamics of it, obviously, shooting in a house for 3 weeks, can also create the kind of weird atmosphere that existed in the Angellier house. So I guess you hope that the intensity that you have while you're filming is also what you capture in terms of their relationships and the very different personalities of the actors involved, all put together in one room, in one scene, is going to help you create an atmosphere that feels very real and very effortless.
And action.
May the Lord bless these gifts we are about to receive, and may he bless those unable to share his bounty with us. Guide them from danger. Amen.
Cut.
Got there, thank you.
I think for the sake of the film, I always felt it's great to have a very intimate story set against a very big backdrop, and you want to really make the intimate stuff intimate, and you want to make the big stuff really big. When those two things play off against each other, I think that can work really, really well.
Everyone took a big deep breath in between some of these big action scenes like the Exodus or like the Germans arriving in the town square. That's the kind of stuff that I think crews and cast find exciting as well. You know, you suddenly get a real sense of what it's like to be in these situations.
Probably 50% of what we're seeing we got from the flea market in Paris. And also Veronique, the set decorator, bought masses of stuff for the Exodus that you can see behind us now in auctions and things like that. So we have a huge store just full of all sorts of junk and stuff that has just been gathered over a period of weeks. There's bits of furniture that, will appear on the back of a wagon that will later appear in dressed in a room that are probably now here under a blanket on another wagon. So, there's a lot of recycling going on.
The weather was extraordinary for the shoot. I mean, we were sitting there panicking in pre-production thinking, if we get a classic Northern European summer, we're done for. It was a heat wave in the year that the book was set. As it turned out, we did get a heat wave. So the film does look sunny, blue skies, stifling. You feel that kind of heady atmosphere of the romance, which is what we wanted to come through. So we were extremely lucky. I think some of our extras are less lucky. We had a few German soldiers keeling over. It certainly is quite something standing out in the sun in a metal helmet all day. Likewise for the Exodus, it's hard. We had columns of people for real marching down roads in 40-degree heat. So yeah, it was a tough shoot from that front.
On one hand, it's extraordinary that you are, allowed to have this job where you can recreate properly the whole event. At the same time, it's just very, very hard to marshal all of that and make it feel right and real and oppressive, But we got there.
Hey there, Valerie here with an interesting fact from the movie The Usual Suspects. During the film, Verbalkind says, "The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing men he didn't exist." This quote is from the French poet Charles Baudelaire, and it also appears in another movie featuring Gabriel Byrne and Kevin Pollak, End of Days. That's all for today. I'm Valerie, and remember to subscribe for all the latest trailers.